So welcome on board the BMW M4 G82 generation. So in Europe with the OPFs, this car came in with a problem. Our friends from Hofmeister already had done some maintenance on this car, oil change, Park Plus, all that kind of stuff. With the maintenance they found out a problem with the OPFs. Unfortunately the car was giving a lot of back pressure, and at worst case the car even turned off, which is of course not ideal if you want to drive. So around 2000 RPM the car was really running really badly. Upon reading out the ECU, we saw that the ECU was giving a OPF back pressure error, and well, we couldn't see anything in the OPFs. The assumption was that the OPFs were either damaged or full, or when they decoupled the mid-pipe, the car was actually running fine. So it was something with the mid-pipe. The sensors were working fine and everything was working fine, except when you had the mid-pipe connected back on. So what have we done? We have installed our mid-pipe, tested it again, small drive, and the car was running fine. Of course, after a while the car will throw a check engine light and go into limp mode, but that was not the case right now because the trip was quite short. We are now driving around with the OPFs coded out on the ECU, which means the car will not check on the OPFs anymore, but that's also not necessary because the car does not have OPFs anymore. What did we do to this car? We have installed the equal length mid-pipe from DCE parts. It has been designed to make the S58. It has been designed to make the S58 sound a lot more harmonic. The problem with straight piping these cars or removing OPFs with a regular setup, which means two pipes like the original pipes to the back but without filters, it makes the car sound really raspy. It makes it sound like a lawnmower, a bit like a 3-cylinder, which is of course not ideal. And with the single mid-pipe, that's in between. The single mid-pipe combines those waves, makes it sound a lot better, but it is not as harmonic on the top end. And with the equal length, we try to balance those two things. We've tested a few setups. This one has the X pipe. The sound is a lot better. We have installed a valve controller as well. So we are now driving with the valves closed. It was open before. And with the valves closed, with the resonated mid-pipe, because this is a resonated version, the car sounds just like original. Of course you do hear a little bit of a rumble in the background, but that's expected because these cars of course do have a large engine. To many of you, keeping the original back box and keeping the original downpipes, it makes the car sound a lot better without making it obnoxious. So the S58 is known to be really loud when you go on it, especially with downpipes. If you do the downpipes and the OPF delete, the car will get really loud. And to some of you, that's of course what you're after. To some, it's not. So if you are not looking for stage 2 tuning, this is the perfect solution. We have dynoed these cars quite often, and normally we dyno them stock around 550 horsepower. And with the mid-pipes, we usually dyno them around 570, 575 horsepower. And that is because you remove 2 catalytic converters and 2 OPFs, 1 resonator. So the flow is better optimized, which means the car will drive a lot better as well. Coming back to why we design these parts, we are enthusiasts. We are after performance, but we are also after a nice sound. So to us, it's not about making the loudest setup possible. To us, the most important thing is making it enjoyable to drive. We are now still in comfort mode, but with the valves open. You do hear the car rumble in the background, but not obnoxious. It's a nice sound. So we now have the car in sport mode with the valves open, and as you can hear, there's a lot more burbles. Still warming up the car, so we are not flooring it in any way or means, any way or form, because we want to make sure that the material lives for long. We hope that our customers always does that, because that will of course ensure the durability of the materials that you're driving in. But as you can hear, car starts to come alive. Open up the window a little bit. That was only 3000 RPM. We are now at 80 degrees temperature, so we are still driving slowly, but so much nicer than stock. There's a little bit of an overrun as well, and it makes the car so much better to enjoy. We are driving 80 kilometers an hour, which is the speed limit here, but we are enjoying it so much more than when we would in a more silent car or even an electric car. Yeah, we appreciate it when a car makes the driver feel like it's engaging with them. And when a car is silent, maybe I'm old or something, but if a car does not tell you what it's doing with the engine because it's too silent, it's not the same experience. I mean, I love when a car is a little bit more mechanical, but of course we try to help the customers with parts to make sure that the car also sounds a little bit better, drives a little bit better. So there's a lot of parts that we can install on these cars. Oh, such an enjoyable experience. The contrast is great because in front of us there's a Toyota Yaris. Or what is it? I'm not sure. A Toyota. And probably they're traveling the same amount of distance, of course. But I'm sitting here with a big smile. And the only mod that we have done to this car was the mid-pipe. It makes such a big difference that we're so happy to see how much this car comes to life. It is a must-have. If you have a G80, G82, G87, G81, G83, M3, M4, M2, get this solution. We have single mid-pipes or equal length mid-pipes. We do not do the regular version because we do not want to attach our brand to the raspiness of the two 3 cylinders. This is how we want the car to sound, a single mid-pipe or this. Above 5000 RPM, the car starts to sing. All the sound waves come together to make a much more harmonic sound coming out of the exhaust. But it's not only the exhaust on the back, it's the whole cabin is filled with nice sound waves actually. So of course we are now not driving quickly, but to demonstrate the sound we have to up the revs a little bit. So we have the tunnel to ourselves, and of course we are gonna enjoy that. What a sound, what a sound.